So, you want to hear a story, huh? Have I got a story for you? There was a legend.
Welcome back. We've got a brand new Moze build for Borderlands 3. Maximum Meta Moze. We've got as many Moze metas as we could crank into one Moze build. So if you love Moze, if you love all the crazy different tricks that you can do with her, check this build out. But just before we get to the meat, potatoes, and everything else everyone always says about every video, just subscribe. It would help me so much. The more you guys subscribe, the more you watch the videos, it does everything. It's everything. And if you know that meme, tell me in the comments. Let's hit the video. Okay, so let's take a run through the build, take a look at this gear here, and there is quite a lot. Because we have so many metas going on, this is going to take a little bit longer than usual, but we're going to try to run through this as quick as possible. So first we're going to take a look at the guns. We got a phaser here first. Now we're only going to be using this thing in shotgun mode, and because when we're doing splash damage we are going to be regenerating our ammunition, you can basically just keep shooting this thing in shotgun mode and you will do a crazy amount of damage with it. It does do its best work when you have the Minesweeper comm as the comm that you were using at the time, but it does work with any of the other comms as well, as does everything else on the build, but just be aware of the way that it works. It will come off best with the Minesweeper. Now, this phaser is a gun that you can get as a base game world drop. And in addition, it is dropped by Atomic over the Tazendir Ruins on Necrotifio. Next up, we have a Plague Bearer over here. And we have this in a few different quote-unquote flavors, as I like to say. And we don't have a corrosive one, but you don't really need it for this build. You see, we've got it in the Radiation here, and the Incendiary, and the Shock. And we've got slightly different variations of the different annoyance as well. All of them will work quite well. It just really depends on kind of what you want to do. Like, this could be better for certain bosses for the first big one hit. Over here, action skill end, you hop out of the bear, you get that increased splash damage on your fire. The Incendiary is stuff that you're already boosting up with Moze big time, so I mean lots of extra damage there. And then on the Shock one, we've got the extra Incendiary damage here too. Now next to magazine, so that will persist forever as long as you don't reload too many times, and with the fact that you're regenning so much ammo, that will continue to persist. So we actually have that on a few of the different weapons, because in general with this build, that annoyant will persist for you as long as you don't over reload, and with the amount of times that you just have to hop in and out of bear just to get it back, it doesn't go away. You can basically have it forever. Now this thing is dropped by the Warden in the Anvil over on Eden 6, and it is also dropped over in the Guardian Takedown now by both of the bosses, as they can drop pretty much all of the best gear from the Mayhem modes. Be aware it is a Mayhem 6 and above drop though. Next up we have the Boogeyman here, and you saw that we were using this thing in the demo. And this is one of those infinite fire weapons that you can get going. You see we also have the infinite incendiary on there, so you just hop in and out of bear, and then you got infinite incendiary, and this gun already regens ammo, or basically it has a chance to not use ammo, so it kind of acts like regenning the ammo at the time. And on top of it, those kills where you get the Boogeyman skull, you can get those while you're in your bear. As long as you are using something that counts as a bullet when you're shooting, you can get those skulls proccing with bear as well. And that's kind of like the electric banjo here as well. As long as you are doing bullet projectiles while you are in the bear, you can get the electric banjo to proc as well. So that's why this is on the build here. We don't use it tons, but it's there just for extra fun, just so you can do a little bit of banjo bear stuff if you want to. Now the Boogeyman itself comes from Arms Race, and it is a little bit of pain to get one of these sometimes, but hey, once you pull one of these things out of Arms Race, it comes in ×1 or ×2. You're going to absolutely love this gun and all the splash damage it can deal. Next up, we have the Guardian Angel. We are going to be using this as a weapon and for Guardian Angel swapping sometimes when you just need that additional damage at range. And in addition, it is part of one of the tricks on the build. When you have the Guardian Angel equipped and you hop inside of Bear, any of our grenades that have Iron Bear active, taking damage, 20% damage to spawn a grenade, those grenades will actually be influenced in the amount of damage that they can deal by the Guardian Angel shotgun. Thanks, Bflat. He's the one who figured that one out. Bflattened, if you want to check out his channel. So that's a pretty cool thing that you can do here with the Guardian Angel, and on top of it we got Iron Bear active railgun damage increased by 150% on there, and that is because we will be primarily using the railgun here for the Iron Bear. This is going to be corrosive sabot rounds. This is why I was saying you don't really need the corrosive plague bear, because the bear itself, we're going to be focusing on corrosive damage with him there most times. Now, you can pretty much use any of the weapons, as you can see. We have pretty much everything opened up with this build for weaponry for the bear, but the corrosive sabot rounds are my personal favorite. Now, the Guardian Angel shotgun itself, you can get this over here on your vault card. You spend a few keys to get it, or you can earn it. See it pop open the vault card. Boom. Oh, look, we got enough keys. And then we'd be able to go buy it if we wanted to go grab one. Right there, the Guardian Angel shotgun. Next up for our weapons, we have quite a few different things in our pocket here. All of them work fantastically well. You'll see some of them definitely got used in the intro. And these ones, you know, they're just things that you can grab, that you can try if you want to. The main guns are over there on the other side, but these things all work fantastic. We've got the multi-tap, we've got the Kaoson. Hellwalker here, the elemental crit. This is a pretty funny enchant on here. You put on a pretty decent incendiary DOT in this game with Moze, and then setting it off with the Hellwalker can be pretty fun to do. Trevinator here, the other types of Plague Walker, Complex Root, be careful, you will kill yourself. It's okay, you usually kill everything else and get yourself back up, but the splash damage on this, it's uncalled for. We have the Bird of Prey. So we got a wicked one-shot on Graveward with the Bird of Prey. That extra projectile that this thing has is absolutely phenomenal. This is a really, really fun gun to use with this build. And then the Sandhawk. When you go infinite ammo with the build for a few seconds, this is just the hose that destroys absolutely everything. So if you really, really wanted to do something with this gun and you always felt like, oh man, I just run out of ammo too fast all the time, this is the build for you. You can use the Sandhawk. Krakatoa, we also demoed this thing. Super duper fun with the build with all the additional incendiary damage that we do. And all of these things, like this one's base game. This one's base game Mayhem 6. You can get this to drop off of General Trant. This one comes off of your vault cards. I think it's still vault card 1. The game would like to tell me. There it is, yeah, Bird of Prey there, vault card 1. This is from DLC 3. It is a world drop in DLC 3, although there's a dedicated person to farm it from. But it is a base game, and that's where I usually get it from. Up here, Hellwalker. This is another world drop from the base game, easy to get. And Trevinator, I usually get these things dropping off of either Wotan, or you can very easily get these things to drop off of Graveward as well. Kaoson, this is only going to drop off of Mayhem 4 Plus of regular Trant, so go ahead and fight Trant a bunch of times, you get a bunch of different Kaosons to drop. It comes in all the different elements. And finally the multi-tap, which is a Mayhem 6 drop off of Katagawa Ball. Now you see we're running a lot of URAD and a lot of Iron Bear up or after exiting Iron Bear, and that is because of the different metas that we have running on this build. So really just choose the enchants that are right for you. I really enjoy the URAD stuff, the under 50% health, deal 100% bonus radiation damage for overall mobbing and everything, but once you hit the bosses, sometimes it works. Other times you want to go with something else. So it's really just what you're choosing to do at the time. Choose the best enchants for you, but I've tried to put the best enchants possible on each gun, and then over here the Plague Bear is just something for you to try with each different one if you grab the save off of my Discord. Now over here we have the Snowshoe. This is a drop from the Malawan takedown. You get this from the Valkyries. This thing is absolutely fantastic, and this is the main shield for the build. We do have a couple other shields. If you are having trouble with your damage, you can always get yourself a Revolter action skill start that's going to pump your damage like crazy. Absolute crazy no matter what you're doing. It is a drop from Sumo over in DLC 6. This is the Faulty Star. It is from DLC 4. This thing is a world drop, and you saw this is the one that is creating the novas around the enemies. So when you set yourself to Mayhem 10 and choose Boundary Issues, yeah, that's the VIP Faulty Star with Boundary Issues, and you want to be running that with the Bloodletter right here, because when you run the Bloodletter, of course, you start turning all of the health that you would normally get into shield, and we are running at all times when we are messing around with either the Snowshoe or with the Faulty Star. And we will be triggering Russian Offensive, and that is how we're going to be getting all of our life and shields coming right on back all the time to either trigger those giant cryo explosions or the Faulty Star explosions, again, depending on which of the metas you want to run at the time. So that's what you see right here. That's what you're using. This, plus this, or this, and then the skill I just showed you. And then here is where we are going to get those huge cryo explosions from. And so you saw some of those too. This plus this equals those cryo explosions, and of course running, refilling your life over with Russian offensive just to make it happen even faster. So a really cool little combo that you can do right there. Other than that, we do have a Big Boom Blaster. It is a world drop from the regular base game. It is just a phenomenal shield for Moze if you can't get any of the other shields yet. Try to get one of these. We've got it with double amp because it's great to do double amp stuff. Get those additional shots, or get that additional damage on your shots overall with the double amp stuff. Now, for grenades, we have a CMT. This is a Cloning Maddening Tracker. It's just a random world drop, but it is one of the better grenades in the game, and we've got it on Grenade Throw. We're going to do additional action skill damage, weapon damage, grenade damage. This thing is just a phenomenal grenade. It bounces around, hits all sorts of stuff, and it is going to proc all of these skills like crazy for us. You're getting your Vampire with Life Restore. You're getting your Pull the Holy Pin. You're getting those crit chances to have the crits setting off your Minesweeper extra explosions from your Minesweeper Calm. And then you've got Means of Destruction here. See, we're getting our grenades and our ammo back when we are doing additional splash damage by throwing those grenades. So just throwing them, it keeps your ammo full, it keeps your grenades full. It's a pretty fun little combo to be doing there with the Cloning Maddening Tracker. Now, if you can't get one of those, we have Mitosis Hex. It can do about the same thing for you. Or there is a Recurring Hex, again, does about the same thing, although Cloning Maddening Tracker is the best overall for that. We have a Fish Slap. This thing is just super fun if you're running that really fun trick with the Guardian Angel, where you can just throw Fish Slaps randomly while you are in the bear, and have them bouncing around doing Groundbreaker for you, and on top of it, you get all that extra damage from the fact that the Guardian Angel is equipped. You get the Fish Slap from the Cartels event, and the hexes and the trackers here, these are all just base game stuff, but I would suggest you check out lootlemon.com. Phenomenal website. It will give you exactly what you need for every single item. In fact, just to give you an idea, I have one of their windows open right now, and if you've not ever seen lootlemon.com, it looks like this. So here we are at Loot Lemon. Here's the snowshoe. Gives you all the information about the snowshoe. Scroll down, how to farm the snowshoe, drop rates for the snowshoe, who drops the snowshoe, alternative shields for your build. So, for any of these items, if you are wondering where the heck you can get those things, lootlemon.com, the toolbox for Borderlands players. And no, that was not sponsored. They're just amazing, and they deserve big ups. Now, we have the Flare. This is for when you want to run your bear and do absolute maximum damage while you are in bear or riding on top in Dock-a-Bear. As you saw, you can get in and out of bear very easily, hopping back up into Dock-a-Bear, and you will do all sorts of additional damage when you are riding in Dock-a-Bear. As you see right here, you get that 50% Iron Bear damage boost while you're up there in Dock-a-Bear, so as well as Auto Bear piloting and shooting your Corrosive Sabot rounds, and you up there shooting that machine gun, I've seen it doing as much as 4-5 million damage per bullet on the Dock-a-Bear. It's crazy how much damage you can actually do with that thing, so don't be afraid to check it out. So that's the Flare Calm, primarily for when you want to ride around in bear or abuse the Dock-a-Bear tricks. Now, the Rocketeer is for if you just want Auto Bear to run around and follow you all the time. You can hop into bear, hop out of bear, and then your bear will follow you like the little Iron Cub, except he's full size. So again, really fun to use with the Dock-a-Bear turret, but this is not one that I use primarily. I really do enjoy using the other ones more, as they're a little bit more fun, a little bit trickier, but again, this is another way to run your meta. You can just have the bear with you out at all times. Now, we do have the Minesweeper comms here, two of the different ones, and we got some really nice ones here. We got the heavy damage, action skill damage, grenade damage. Now, this is the one you want to be running if you are going to be spending time in the bear yourself. And this is the one you're going to be running if you're going to abuse the auto bear stuff, where you get back out of bear, you have bear doing damage on its own, and you are shooting your own weapons like the Plague Bearer or the Phaser here. So you're going to be wanting to run this one here. So you get that additional splash damage with splash radius, your grenade damage also boosting the Minesweeper grenades that get dropped there. But of course, if you're in the bear, you want to be doing the most damage with bear, so you've got the extra action skill damage there as well. Now, let's move on down to here, and we will see we got the Electric Banjo. Now, the toboggan is on the build because anytime that you're not actually going to be doing the cryo slamming stuff, as great as the victory rush is, the additional shield on the toboggan can really help out, especially when you are doing the faulty star trick. Gives you that additional damage reduction, and as well, when you slide, you will get this shield on you, which, you know, it gives the damage reduction, but your next shot is also crazy amped like that. And you can just re-trigger it by sliding again, so a fantastic way to get an additional amp shot onto some of your bigger things that you might want to fire off for bossing or whatever. And so, you know, if you really want to push it, you can go all the way to the maximum. You can give yourself Minesweeper with the splash damage. You can give yourself the AoE damage with the additional radiation boost here. You can give yourself the Revolter here with the action skill start. And then you can go crazy, you can use the Plague Bearer, and then after you fire it, you can swap to the Guardian Angel for the Guardian Angel swap trick, and you're pretty much going to break the damage cap with those shots every time at that point. Like, if you don't, then the grenade that you drop off of the Minesweeper will break the damage cap on that, not even a question. So that's if you just want to go absolutely nuts and push the damage just way beyond anything that you ever might possibly think you needed to do. Because even then you can throw this and get another 25% damage on top. So absolutely crazy way to go. Not the way that we're going most of the time, because we're trying to play with all the tricks as much as possible. But that is another meta on the build that can take you all the way to the top for damage with Moze. So now that we have looked at all of this crazy, crazy gear, let's look at the skills. So now going down the skill trees, we are going to start over here in the green tree. We are going 1 into Dock-a-Bear so that we can hop into Bear, get that additional damage, and then 5 out of 5 in Cloud of Lead. Now again, then you see that's additional damage both for Bear and for Moze, so that's going to be fantastic for us there. Stoke the Embers, pumping up your incendiary damage, and then 1 out of 1 in redistribution, giving yourself that ammo and health regen that's going to help with both of our cool shield tricks, so you definitely want to get that. 5 out of 5 here into Scrappy, so that the faster, well, not the faster, we're not Zane, but when you're moving, you get to do more damage. Not the faster we move, though. Almost misspoke on that. And 5 out of 5 here, Scorching RPMs, getting our critical damage and Iron Bear damage up is a great thing to get your crit multiplier, and that's a fantastic place to pull it out of. Russian Offensive, super key for the build. We definitely want to regen life while we're running. Over here, couple points to increase our magazine size, and then 1 out of 1 for Specialist Bear so that we always match up our weapons and do a crazy amount of additional damage. Here we go, some for the road. We get the infinite ammo for a few seconds when we exit Iron Bear. That's how you get to some of those really cool tricks. Firing infinitely with some of those sniper rifles, or firing off 3-4 shots with the Plague Bearer, and then swapping over to the Guardian Angel and just watch the entire universe explode. Going all the way down to Forge so that we constantly regenerate ammo for whatever weapon we have equipped. That's especially useful for the launchers and for the shotgun on the phaser. Things like that. Over in purple, just 3 out of 3 into Big Surplus. This is not a required skill, but you know, action skill cooldown, additional gun damage. We're Moze, gotta love it. Now over here we go 3 out of 3 into Deadlines, and that is giving us a bear that drains far less fuel. And of course, firing the Skagden. Now we're at 9 out of 5. We got a bunch of that coming off of our Minesweeper Calm. And so, you know, that's going to move around a little bit based off of what Calm you've got, but you want 5 out of 5 here. Increasing your incendiary damage, making it absolutely crazy every time you do splash damage. This is basically Moze's best skill for Mayhem scaling. Take 5 out of 5 in it. We got 2 out of 3 in Means of Destruction, and then we are doing a little bit of Torg cross promotion. That's because it's really good here too. And you know, I took a look at the different places that we could put all of the skills. This is the one place on the entire build that I could say if you don't want this, you can have faster bear cooldown here. And that's it. Nothing else on the build would ever need to move. And that's only if you're wanting faster Iron Bear cooldown and you're not so much worried here about doubling your splash damage size. 5 out of 5 into Stainless Steel Bear, giving you more fuel, Iron Bear armor, and damage. Of course, take Auto Bear. We're using that a lot. We got 2 out of 3 into Pull the Holy Pin, and then 2 here into Vamp here as well. 1 out of 1 into the last, because you want to throw grenades when you're down. It really, really helps. And Short Fuse, probably the best skill that Moze has. It's crazy. First 2 shots every time you load into the game. This applies. Look at it. You want to do crazy one hits with Moze? Just reload in, and it's within your first 2 hits right here. Finally, we are over into the red tree, 1 out of 1 into security bear to give ourselves that extra shield. Really helps out when you're raid bossing against Hemovorus and such, just so you can hop in and out of Daka Bear a little bit more safely. And then 5 out of 5 into Armored Infantry, taking our gun damage and our damage reduction up. 3 out of 3 into Thin Red Line so that we can trigger our URAD, have our life down and our shield way up at all times, do even more shield damage with our cryo tricks. And then 5 out of 5 here in Drowning in Brass, get that additional damage, slowing down our shots a little bit, but hey, it doesn't really matter with Moze. We got all sorts of crazy fire rate, all sorts of damage. Those slightly slower shots just give us the slightly better chance to regen the ammo for those big hits. Finally, we got the 1 point here into experimental munitions, so that experimental musicians, run! Jazz! Oh, whenever Iron Bear scores a critical hit, they also deal incendiary damage. That's just even more incendiary damage for us. Normally, we're running Mayhem mode 11, but you can run Mayhem 10 to do the Boundary Issues trick with the Faulty Star Shield. And I mean, you can run any of the other Mayhem modes too, but like, we're at the top end of the difficulty scale here, so there's no real reason to turn it down past there. Alright, so that's it, folks. That is Maximum Meta Moze, trying to crank as many Moze metas as possible into one build, and it's super fun, and it does crazy damage, and it will just take you through anything you need in the game. So, the save file will be over on the Discord. Until next time, friends, thanks for watching the video, and happy gaming.
Flexing with style and mad skills, like my name was Eternal Dragons, gameplay and builds. So come get your fill, cause you paying the bill. The conflict's critical, situation real. I'm a pop, I'm let it rock, close mark, old school 360 like an Xbox, make it hot. What you got, gonna give it go right? I'ma watch my watch as I watch you fly. Slowing down my lyrics for a minute.